So it's 5:30 a.m. on Friday morning, and Pal and I hear the coyotes just a going crazy. Pal runs to the door and is looking out the door. They're actually behind that bush you see there on the left. I believe there was two of them. Anyway, you'll notice in a second here, a rabbit's going to come flying out. And he'll come along the fence line there. There he goes, right there. And then he's going to make a beeline for my car. And he goes under my car, you guys, and look what he does. He just sits and stares at my door. At this point, I'm like, oh my God, it's like all these wild animals come here almost for protection. So now I'm watching a little more and I'm flipping back between cameras to see if the coyotes are going to come out or not. And then I think to myself, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to let Pal outside. Hopefully, by letting Pal outside, it will scare off the coyotes so they don't bother this poor little rabbit anymore. See, he's now hiding behind, there's a little bush there, and he's actually hiding behind that little bush. So I decide to let Pal out, and when I do, you'll see the rabbit kind of take off. But notice how Pal doesn't follow him or go after him. Watch, there goes the rabbit. And now I reopen the door and say, Pal, we got to protect that little guy. Remember, we don't want him to get hurt. Pal goes around to the front of the car and is looking at him. And I'm still telling him, make sure he's okay, Pal. So I go back inside, go back and sit down, and I throw on the security cameras. I change the angle, and you'll see now Pal's like just sitting there. The rabbit's on your right-hand side of the screen moving along. And Pal's just watching him, just making sure he's okay. I swear that's what he's doing, you guys. So he sits there for a little while, and then you'll notice he'll start to head back towards the house right there. And when he does, I say to him, Pal, I go back to the door and say to him, Pal, just make sure one more time he's okay, little buddy. You go make sure he's okay. So, of course, Pal goes back to the back of the car now, and he's watching the rabbit a little bit more. Man, I love my dog, you guys. He has just got the greatest heart and the greatest soul ever. So he watches him for a little while, and then he decides to come back home. You'll see him come up the stairs here. And in a sec, you see he's going to turn around, and he's going to do a little bit more looking to make sure that that rabbit's okay. He checks things out. See him look across the street there to where the bushes were, where the coyotes were. Meanwhile, in all this, the coyotes have stopped. Pal decides to come in now. Good boy, Pal. Good boy.